The image, title, and release date for Prince Harry's memoir has finally been revealed. The date, January 10th, 2023. The title, Spare. And the image, hot damn. Harry looking fed, well rested, and moisturized. He's on his grown and sexy-ish. And we're here for it. And I'm not the only one. Twitter has been abuzz with everybody commenting on the image and the name, which 10 out of 10 for the Spare.
First look this morning at the cover of Prince Harry's memoir. Did you guys know this before you came over to the desk?
I did see it.
All right, there is the cover.
I love this title.
Anticipate it's
Spare. I love that.
The heir and the spare.
There you go.
That's a great picture of Harry.
This is promising.
I love it.
Gail, what do you know? What have you heard? This book is going to be a bombshell.
I'm just saying, I think that's a great picture.
You got the inside scoop.
Now, for those of you who don't know, the Spare is a disparaging title that has been given to Harry, well, from the day he was born. The Spare and the heir is a dynamic that has been cursed, especially when it comes to the British royal family. Now, amongst royal families, the tradition is that the Queen produces an heir and a spare in order to ensure that the line of succession carries on in the event that the heir doesn't survive. Now, we know back in the day the life expectancies of heirs were short. Do you guys remember when Robert Jobson, or is it Jobson, one of the royal rodents, were going on and on about Harry losing his zeal for the book, or being too chicken to release the book, or that the palace is going to ensure that that book never sees the light of day. And now we see that Robbie and his buddies are wrong. The date, January 10th, and I have already pre-ordered my copy, and a copy for my mom because she, like me, is a Harry stan. Yes, we love us some Prince Harry, and we will be ready for that release. Now, the history or the curse of the Spare as it relates to the British royal family is long. Dates back all the way to the 12th century, starting with King Richard of Lionheart and his brother King John. Now, in its entirety, there have been 2 spares who have been sent to the Tower, which is like royal prison for those folks. Now, the first was King Richard, who sent his brother, George, to the Tower, and the second was in 1554 when Queen Elizabeth I was sent to the Tower by her sister, Queen Mary. Now, since then, no one's been sent to the Tower, thank God. But boy, oh boy, the curse has not been lifted. Now let's start off with Princess Margaret, who, God bless her soul, had a very bittersweet life. Besides the titles and the life of luxury, the beautiful couture gowns, I loved her fashion sense. And besides the tiara, was not very happy being saddled as the cheeky, naughty Spare, much like Harry, wasn't something that she relished. And I mean, who would? Sibling dynamics are already difficult to navigate, much less on such a huge scale where your sibling is treated way better than you are in every sense, in terms of education that they receive, their place within the family, the hierarchy of it all, the way that they're protected by the firman within the family, and the way that you're just expected to sort of serve them in every which way possible. You're expected to be the scapegoat, the lesser than. I can't imagine how that feels. Also, the name, the Spare, is just so ick. I hate it. But Princess Margaret, unlike Harry, was not able to marry the love of her life, and also had a bit of an alcoholic problem. Also a chain smoker. Also a life of depression. Very, very sad. Now, for Andrew and Charles, it's a little bit different simply because Andrew isn't just the only sibling of the heir. Margaret was the only sibling of Elizabeth, and Harry is the only sibling of William. Andrew is one of three, right? Princess Anne and Edward, and of course Andrew. And Andrew's story or journey so far is one of a cocky, bit of a jerk who at one point was seen as the dashing British officer and has since fallen from grace in the most horrific way, even though the palace still bends over backwards to protect him by providing taxpayer-funded security. And let's not forget, where did he get the millions of dollars to pay off the woman that he said that he had never seen, even though we have all seen him in photos with said woman? But that's for another day. Andrew, unlike Harry, didn't understand the importance of removing himself from bad relationships, bad friendships, and continued to befriend one of the most notorious predators. Well, yeah, plural, him and his gal pal, Ghislaine. Now, Harry has been through so many things that the vast majority of us will never get to experience. Him and William walking behind the coffin of their mother. It's so sad and so tragic, but in a lot of ways, the heir, William, was protected. And I mean, even now, you have people in the UK press who will say, man, I can't wait until we can really talk about what Prince William has been up to, because he is protected by the firm, by the family, by the establishment. He is to be the future king, so he is protected. And in stark contrast, Harry, the spare, is not. He has been used for tabloid fodder for all of his life. No wonder he hates that institution and all of the key players within that circle. Right? So they protect William and they throw Harry to the wolves, and we know what they've been doing with Harry's wife and even Harry's children. Now, even Princess Diana had made a comment about knowing that William would be protected and Harry wouldn't. And that's why she went out of her way to ensure that Harry receives a little bit extra from her, because she knows that he's not going to get it from the rest of the family, from the rest of the firm.
William and Harry arrived. Fortunately, 2 boys. Could have been a little tricky if it had been 2 girls. But that in itself brings responsibilities of bringing them up. William's future being as it is, and Harry was sort of like a form of a backup in that aspect.
And there are countless books and articles about the spare dynamic. And even when Harry and Meghan stepped back, there are so many within the British royal establishment who would constantly use the word spare to attack him, to demean him, to say, well, we don't care if you leave with you and your wife and your kids. You're just a spare. We don't care. Go away. So him using this word, this title that has been hoisted upon him from his childhood is powerful. It's fantastic. And there's a lot of people on social media who think the same. There's so much buzz going on around this book long before we even knew the name or the title or the release. And now that it's been revealed today, everybody and their grandma's talking about it. And we all know it's already a bestseller before it's even released. And I love that. Unlike Andrew and Margaret and the rest of the spares, Harry's really saw fit to live his life on his own terms. And I feel like a lot of that motivation and clarity of thought really came from his time in the military. It sort of showed him a different way of life, a different way of thinking. a different sort of community and familial unit that soldiers often feel with their brothers in arms. And I love that now that he is away from the royal institution, he gets to live the life that he's always wanted, a life that his mother has always wanted as well. To be free, to be financially free, emotionally free, to just be who they are, to be in relationships with the love of their lives, unlike Princess Margaret, to be financially free, unlike any of the rest, because we know Andrew had different ways of getting money, but he used his royal connections to do so, and he's still pretty much taken care of by the institution, as was Margaret for all of her life. But Harry is 100% financially free, and Harry has found purpose. Now he's a father of 2, which is something, if you've been paying attention to Prince Harry for years past, you know that he's always been very excited about being a father someday. And now he is that to 2 wonderful little kids. And now he uses his resources and the platform that he has from being a part of that family to do good, especially with the Invictus Games, giving back to his brothers and sisters in arms on a global scale. So Harry, unlike the others, seemed determined to break the curse. And yeah, they've been throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him and his wife Meghan. But they are reclaiming their time and reclaiming those nasty archetypes and stereotypes and titles that's been thrown at them. Meghan, addressing all the horrible things that they've said about her over the years, the angry black woman trope, the aggressive trope, the trope of her being too ambitious for doing this, too ambitious for doing that. And now Harry is taking back some power in the term the spare and telling his story in his own words. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but for me, I find a bit of a resemblance in the colorway of Harry's image for his book and the imagery or Meghan's cover shot for the Variety magazine shoot. Right? The colorway is sort of similar. Harry's looking well rested, well fed, and moisturized. Booked, busy, and unbothered. Also, the proceeds for the book will be given to charities that are near and dear to Prince Harry's heart. I believe 1.3 or is it 1.5 million dollars is giving to Santa Bale, which is a charity that does amazing work that was founded by Prince Harry and another spare. And I believe there's a couple $100,000 that are going to the Well Child charity, which Harry has been a patron of for years. So he's taking back that title. He's telling his own story and giving back to those in need.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.